Hi, this is C. Renee, and today I have something for you. Now, have you ever seen Columbo? For you younger generations, you're probably saying, "Who's Columbo?" Because sometimes I get that. They'll say, "Who's Columbo?" Well, Columbo, let me tell you who Columbo is, and it's not Christopher Columbus, okay? So Columbo is he's an American drama TV. Oh, well, Columbo is an American crime drama television series starring Peter Falk. Okay, number one. He plays as a Lieutenant Columbo, and he's a homicide detective for the Los Angeles Police Department. Okay, now Columbo is a shrewd, exceptional, observant homicide detective and whose trademark includes his rumpled beige raincoat. And trust me, it's very noticeable. And his unassuming demeanor, he always had that cigar, and his battered, and I hope I pronounce this right, his Peugeot 403 car. Okay, he loves his chili, and he always talks about his wife, which nobody seemed to see. Nobody know what she looks like. Okay. Columbo, he often leaves the room only to return with the catchphrase, just one more thing, and to ask critical questions. Okay. I love the show. I've been watching it for years. And regardless of how many times I've seen certain episodes, it still fascinates me. For those of you who would like to see Columbo and who really don't know what I'm talking about, you could always catch his shows on Pluto TV and also on Peacock if you have it. Okay. And Pluto is free. Okay. So you could always catch it on Pluto TV. Now, there's another show that I like, and it's called Elsbeth. And that show just crept up on me. Okay, my intentions. I didn't think I would like it, but it, like I said, it crept up on me. And Elsbeth is played by Carrie Preston, and her character is Elsbeth Tassioni. And Elsbeth, who first appeared, she appeared on The Good Wife, and Elsbeth is a spinoff from that. So, woohoo, go girl. Okay. Elsbeth is the astute but unconventional attorney who utilized her singular point of view to make a unique observation, okay, and corner criminals alongside with the New York Police Department. She arrives in the Big Apple after leaving her successful legal career in Chicago. Now, the reason why I talk about these two is because they have so much in common. They really do. The way they solve crimes is, it could be so funny because Columbo, he gets on people doggone nerves. He comes back after asking one question, he'll come back to you and say, just one more thing. And to where people just say, "What now, Columbo?" They just get so frustrated. And with Elizabeth Tassioni, people, they get a little irritated with her too. But she doesn't come back with a catchphrase. She just pops up. And I love her fashion of clothing. It's so bold, it's so fashionable, it's so unique. is so uniquely designed just for her. Whereas Columbo with that rugged beige coat that looked like, honey, you just need to put that away. You just need something else. And sometimes he looked like he just woke up. He just got out of bed, and he just got out of the bed trying to solve a crime. So two different people, but the way they solve crimes is so unique. And I love it. I love the two shows. Elsbeth, she comes on a regular TV channel, and I want to say channel three. I might be wrong, but I want to say channel three. If not, you can look it up. But she also appears on Paramount TV. And personally, me, I don't like to watch the show when it comes on on the regular day. It's supposed to come on Thursday. I like for my TV shows to just build up, build up, build up. So this weekend I'll be watching Elsbeth because I let it build up for like I haven't watched it in a while, maybe about 4 weeks. So I like to let it build up so I can watch episode after episode after episode because I just love it so much. And I just like the suspense, and I just like to just sit there while I'm eating my dinner and be like, go girl, solve it. And her character is just amazing. And I just love it, love it, love it. And again, like I said, Columbo, funny, funny, funny. And the way he solved crime, I'm telling you, people watch it. Young generation, watch it. Throw a little watch party with the two. Have people come over, have a little laugh, and just watch the two. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. Um, Now, I want to move on to another topic. I want to talk about my girl, Jasmine Crocket, who is just um, blowing up social media. She is just amazing. And she is so amazing that she makes me want to do better. Okay, that is how amazing she is. Um, she is tearing down barriers after barriers after barriers after barriers, especially for us black and brown folks. She is really doing a thing, and she is making me look at myself in a better way, letting me know that I can do all things in Christ that strengthens me. I could do better. I could take whatever I'm doing and take it to the next level and take it to the next level and take it to the next level. And I know that I probably already knew that already, but just watching her just gives me that extra motivation, you know. And I like just seeing her in action. It's like Action Jackson, um, just seeing her in action. It just motivates me. Um, Before I get really deep into Jasmine Crocket, I read that George Foreman died, and I want to just pay homage to George Foreman, who died, and I believe they said he died at the age of 76. So, condolences to his family and his all his family. Um, I am so saddened to hear that. You know, that's young, 76, that's young. And my condolences to you and your family. Okay, so that's George Foreman, who died at the age of 76. Okay, so let's move back on to Miss Crockett. And again, I'm just like, I'm in awe. When I watch her, I'm like, she just she just don't stop. She will clean house. This lady is going to be the next president. And when she becomes the next president, she's going to clean house. She is going to clean the White House. The White House is going to be the cleanest White House ever. Okay? It's going to be the cleanest White House ever. When you look at the White House, you're going to be like, that White House is so white, it shine. It's like bling. And I'm not saying it's just going to be full of all one race. It's going to be clean, like Mr. Clean, spotless clean. She's going to deep clean, okay? Deep clean the White House until it's, look, we ain't having that. Nope. Everything is going to be done correctly. And that's what I like about her. There's not going to be anything shoved in the cabinets and just, okay, we're going to shove this in the cabinet. We ain't going to let nobody see this. Okay, we're going to take this home. We're going to hide this in our garage so nobody can see this. Okay, we're going to just take this and shove this in one of our Teslas and nobody going to see this either. So it's not going to be that. She's going to deep clean that White House. And she's going to make sure whoever works for her is going to do the job they supposed to do correctly. And that's what I like about her. So with that being said, this is in no particular order, but I have 2 clips that I want to share with you. Okay. This is in no particular order.
Gentleman yields back his time. The gentlewoman, Ms. Crockett, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you so much. I'm going to pick up right where Representative Connolly left off. Out of curiosity, do either one of you know the definition of insanity?
I think you're referring to doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Oh, okay. That's exactly what I was referring to. And it sounds like that is what this party is good at. But I want to talk about the theme of the day. Commissioner, you have said over and over and over the word complicated. I was not keeping a tally, but you said it a lot. So I want to work with this word a little bit. I have a list of items. I would like for you to let me know if you believe they are complicated or not. Tax returns.
Complicated.
Operating the IRS without proper investment.
Complicated.
Recruiting workers in this antagonistic environment.
Complicated.
Auditing millionaires and billionaires.
Complicated.
Okay, so it sounds like you've got a complicated job.
I do.
And it also sounds like you have to know something about math. My colleague brought that up as well. It sounds like you need to be at least somewhat decent at counting to be with IRS. Yes?
Yes.
You'd agree? Okay.
I agree.
It's so weird because my colleagues on the other side of the aisle wanted to call this hearing. This is not our first. It's not our second. I've actually lost count myself of how many IRS hearings we're having. And they seemingly feel like they can fix your very complicated issues. But somehow they aren't good at simple math that would get them to a speaker, right. So we've been 3 weeks without one. Let me ask you another question that may be another one of these when the math ain't math in situations. There was a looming government shutdown a few weeks ago. And interestingly enough, when I do the math, approximately a little bit more than 60% of the people that sit on this committee actually voted to shut us down. Now, out of curiosity, for everyone that claims to care about their constituents, do you think it's easier or more difficult to operate as the IRS when, say, there's a shutdown?
It is very disruptive. to our operations.
Very disruptive. Let me give you another number that is very concerning to me. That number is 24. 24 represents the number of days that we have before the continuing resolution that 60% of, and when I say my colleagues, I'm talking about across the aisle, not on this side. We were about at 100%. Actually, we were 100% on this committee that voted to make sure that the government did not shut down. But if in 24 days, we don't have a speaker because they can't figure out their math, and we shut down, is that going to help you answer more phone calls or less phone calls?
A lot less.
Oh, okay. All right. So it sounds like we have a lot of performative politics that is taking place, because yet another number that was mentioned, and I believe you brought this number up, was $540 billion. You also talked about appropriations, and you talked about the fact, and I want to be clear about this $540 billion. This $540 billion is a net number, correct? This is not a net zero, like it's going to cost $540 to go get it, and that's how much we're going to get. We're talking about netting $540 billion, correct?
540 billion. I would say we're on track under current course and speed to get about 70 back, so our hope is we'll be at 470. But yeah, it's 470 billion, which is what's owed versus what's paid.
Okay, very good. How is it that the American people should believe that the majority party has the ability to solve your complex issues when, number one, they don't pay attention to history, which was defunding this organization has not helped their constituents, but hurt their constituents? And let me add to that. The last time I checked, America is growing. So you were defunding your organization as we were ending up with more people, which means that you have more work, correct?
Correct. More population, more filers, more changes to the tax code, and more complexity in how the economy operates. 2010, when our budget reduction started, we never heard of PayPal, Venmo, all these, payment platforms. The gig economy changes, and it's great, but we have to invest and be ready to be effective tax administrators as the world changes. That's why it's important to keep our funding at pace.
I agree. And as the child of an IRS worker, I absolutely want to thank you for what you do. And obviously, I always must send love to my mama. I thank her for what she does for the American people as well. I'll yield back.
Gentlewoman yields back her time. The distinguished gentleman from South Carolina, Ms. Crocket.
Now, okay, so that was one video. Now here is another.
Now recognize the gentlewoman from Texas, Ms. Crocket, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Mr. Talcove, I'm just going to go ahead and pick up where you left off really quickly. Just to be clear, the upgrades that you're talking about as it relates to our data processes, these aren't things that would be free, are they? They would cost some kind of money. Not looking for a number, but they will cost, correct?
Some are free and some would cost money.
Okay. All right. So I just want to leave it there because we've had a number of these hearings. So I do want to be clear, before the Trump administration came in, this committee did exist in the form of the Oversight Committee, and our task is to root out waste, fraud, and abuse. In that vein, we had a number of hearings, at least last term. I can't speak for any other term as I'm only in my sophomore term. And we dealt with improper payments. And interestingly enough, our chairwoman, who is so passionate about this today, she missed every single one of those improper payment hearings. But just to be clear, I was there. So I don't want anyone to believe that Democrats just come to work and don't plan to do work. In fact, I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is that the Republicans believe our job is, because right now they have relinquished their constitutional duties over to an unelected bureaucrat, someone who no one went out to vote for. And absolutely, he is occupying the Oval Office, as we saw yesterday. And that is a first for me to see someone occupying the Oval Office who's never actually been elected to the Oval Office and actually answering more questions than the person that allegedly got elected. But for whatever reason, this is the first time we're having a Doge subcommittee hearing, and that guy's not here. Instead, we have y'all. So I do want to thank you for coming. But I will say this. It's also interesting to me that in the first few days of Doge existing, we know that they are trying to get rid of the Department of Education, USAID, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. They're laying off FAA workers. They are going after the FDA, the CDC, the HHS, the FBI agents, and they're talking about getting rid of FEMA. And they brought y'all in. And I am going to say that I actually was shocked that there was only one person that seemed like he was an overt Trumper as you laid out your opening remarks, because I anticipated that at least one of y'all would say, yes, what Elon is doing is exactly what we would prescribe. But instead, I will applaud you because you actually were focused. You talked about what the American people are looking for us to do. We've actually consistently on this side of the aisle promoted this idea of making investments into technology so that we can do things such as, say, look at the Department of Defense. The Department of Defense that takes up approximately, 50% of our discretionary income. Or our discretionary spending, approximately 50% goes to Department of Defense. Department of Defense has not been able to pass an audit in the last 6 audits, and we're not talking about pennies. I understand that we want everything to be perfect, and if we could get all waste, fraud, and abuse out, that would be fantastic. But let me talk about the big numbers. The big numbers are on that side. When we look at, say, our entire workforce, our federal workforce, as we're trying to somehow fire all of them, they don't even make up a total of 5%. It's even less than that when we look at our budget. But let's talk about defense. That just happens to be the same side of the ledger that Mr. Musk gets the vast majority of his money from. In fact, at the same time that they were unlawfully, and we will stay in court, because on this side, we believe in law and order. We believe in, a number of us are actually lawyers, but nevertheless, we understand the Constitution. We believe in that as well. And so there's things such as, impoundment, right? Because as Mr. Whitson said, he said, we need to return the power of the purse to Congress. It never left. According to the Constitution, that's where it's at. Now, I know that people are confused right now because for whatever reason, we had a guy that went in, and you talk about people invading our data. Listen, people said that they were upset about TikTok, but I'm upset about the guy that runs Twitter, who for sure is doing nefarious things, because I don't understand, if you are trying to conduct audits and figure out where the waste, fraud, and abuse is, I don't know why you would go to some tech guy. In fact, it was only techies that were sitting there at inauguration. We didn't have auditors. I would welcome auditors to come in and do forensic audits. In fact, he sat there in the Oval Office yesterday and he admitted that he was lying, and he was using his propaganda machine to do it when he said that we sent millions of dollars to Gaza for condoms. That was a lie. So let me tell you something.
The gentlelady's time has expired.
It's time for
The
us
gentlelady's
to do our
time has
job
expired.
and rein in this rogue actor known
The
as
gentlelady's
Elon
time
Musk.
has expired. I now recognize the
When I say she is, hold on. When I say she is a powerhouse, she is a powerhouse. She's a force not to be reckoned with, okay? I love her. I love her. I love her. Well, my time is about almost up. And I just want to say, listen, my episode today was about Columbo and Elsbeth, which I'll be watching them tonight. Well, at least Elsbeth, because I haven't watched her episode in about 4 weeks. Hey, Elsbeth! And my girl, Jasmine Crocket. Listen, whenever I see amazing clips like that, or whenever I see her speak, and whenever I could just grab one of her clips, I'll grab it, record it, listen to it, and I'll share it on my podcast because it is worth listening to. Listen, if you like my episode today, give me some feedback, give me thumbs up, give me comments. That's what I want, some comments. Okay, I want to hear from you to let me know how I'm doing. Okay, if you like it, thumbs up. Okay, trying to do my best here. Hey, but listen, my time is almost up. I'm gonna put my Facebook. If you want to hit me up on Facebook, my Facebook link will be LinkedIn, on my YouTube. If you want to just, make a comment there. I don't care where you make a comment at. Just make a comment. Tell me something. Tell me how you like it. Okay, so see, Renee, wasn't that bad? See, Renee? Go, girl! Listen, I like doing this. I like the new See Renee podcast. Listen, I welcome poets. I welcome if you're a poet, and you want to send your poetic justice into me, and for the world to hear it, I'll welcome it. I'll play it. Next week, I have something good for you. So that's my time. You guys have a great Saturday. It's nice outside. Enjoy it. And I'll see you next week, right? Right here, right? See, Renee? They'll see you, right? See, Renee? Okay. That's my time. And goodbye. Goodbye.